G'day and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year. It is 2022. Now, I know last year I didn't really get a lot of videos out. I guess life just kind of got in the way, different priorities, life's challenges, COVID, all that stuff. I do want to do more videos this year because I really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy the feedback I get from everyone as well. I like answering people's questions, so don't hesitate to pop stuff up in the comments or hit me up on the other various social channels. So today, it's a video I shot a while ago actually. So I shot this Verus install video like last year and I just never really got around to finishing it. I guess my motivation just wasn't there, life, all that kind of stuff. I now think that's a bit boring. I will show it, hang on for that if that's what you're waiting for, to see how to install it. But I thought I'd actually rather talk about the unit itself and should you buy it? Because hopefully that's what a lot of people tune in for. It's, I buy the parts, I use them, do I recommend them? So today, let's do that. Okay, so Verus diffuser. Yes, I've had it for a while. I've had it for like 6 months or 9 months or longer. It comes on and off the car. I wasn't originally planning on buying it, so let's be fully transparent here. I picked it up secondhand because one came up for a really, really good deal. Those types of deals that you just kind of can't say no to, because I figured, hey, maybe one day down the track I'll need it. The problem I have with it is the category that I compete in, it's not compatible, right? It's against the rules. I'd have to step it up to a higher level where I wouldn't be as competitive. Like, I don't have the other mods on my car to be competitive. I need at least a big turbo to be competitive there. What's my experience like with it? First, let's talk about off the track and what it's like to live with day to day. Because when it's on the car, I do not quite daily the car, but drive it often enough with it on. And it's not too bad. Like, it doesn't make any noise on the car because it's really solidly mounted to the car. There's no movement there. You don't really notice anything from stones hitting it, nothing like that. That's not an issue. So there's no NVH or anything like that. The only thing is you've got to remember you've got it on because it's low at the back. It is quite low. So there's a couple of places where that hurts me. So going up the driveway out of my apartment complex, actually, there's a drain going across the driveway. And if I go up that, not even fast, but anything faster than sort of walking pace, just the momentum of the car causes it to scrape on it. So the fins scrape on it. So I've got to really roll over that in order for that not to happen. And for that, you've just got to, hey, I've got the diffuser on, because you're quickly reminded about it if you don't. So that's one. So it's environmental. Other things like car park speed bumps, you got to do the whole diagonal thing over it. If you just go straight over it, you're going to scrape at the back. So you got to, even though my car's not super, super low, you got to do a diagonal. Coming out of driveways, again, even if you go you've definitely got to go diagonal. If you go straight, you're gonna scrape at the back. So it's all about being mindful and remembering that you've got it on. And if you do that, then I think it's fine. You can leave it on day to day. It's probably not legal where I live to keep it on. We've got a 100mm law here in New South Wales, Australia, where the lowest part of the car can't be less than 100mm from the ground. I haven't exactly measured it, but I think I'd struggle to clear that 100mm. It's pretty close. The good thing is it's black, and with the rest of the black diffuser on the car, you can't even see it, right? So I'm not going to get pulled over really for it unless a police officer was really, really up close and taking a look. Otherwise, from a distance, you can't even see it because it's all matte black. It looks the same color as the road, pretty much, which is kind of cool. So how is it on track? On track, it's fantastic. For starters, it gives you confidence, right? Because you know you've got some aero there on the car. You know Verus. I mean, if you don't know Verus, look up their website. All their parts are actually CFD'd on a computer, so you know they actually work. How do I know it works? Because I actually have to adjust my suspension to account for it being there. So because of the extra downforce that it generates as it's pulling the car down the road, I may not get the rotation that I like on the sort of medium corners. So I have to account for that, and I can make the rear a little bit looser. So that's actually how I know it's doing something, because I've got to adjust my suspension to compensate for it, to get the balance where I want it to be. Would I recommend it? For a track car, yes. If you're trying to go as fast as possible, you don't want or need any other aero on your car, I think it's a really good alternative to throwing a big ugly wing on the back, which I think these cars just don't need. I reckon it's a great alternative to that. It's kind of stealth, and you can just leave it on. So yeah, if you got the coin, because it isn't cheap, it's a bit expensive, especially in Australia, because you got to pay USD for it, you got to send it over, shipping's expensive, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I bought it off someone that already had it here in the country. I got it for a fantastic price. Hard to say no. If that wasn't the case and I was just buying it from Verus overseas, would I get it right now? No, I wouldn't, because I don't get to make the most out of it. But if you can, definitely, it's a quality piece of kit. So with that being said, let's get to the install video, if that's what you've been waiting for. Apologies, I waffled on a lot. Here's the install video. Enjoy. So here's the diffuser on the ground. So I've got the car just up on ramps, so it's easier to get under there. Got 3 fasteners here. We've got 1 here, 1 here, same 3 on the other side, and then we've got 2 up the back. And I'll jump under the car and show you what that looks like. So these are the tabs that are fixed to the front of the car, and they're really pretty easy to fit. They just screw into that. There's already a screw fitting, I think it's a push fitting. There's already one in there, and these little C pieces fit there. Pretty easy. Then we've got these on the side. That just affixes to the exhaust hanger, which I'll show you in a bit more detail. So you can see up there, you literally just take off that bolt that holds the exhaust hanger and put the bracket on, put the bolt back on, easy. And these ones at the back are even easier. It just goes over the back of the bolt that's already there, and a new nut goes on, because this steel's already threaded that the sway bar link goes into. So I just leave these brackets on when the diffuser's not on the car. So what we'll do is we'll slide the diffuser under the car. I think I start by affixing the back. Not quite sure now. But definitely I think the back and the front are kind of the easiest to do. That then holds the weight of the diffuser, and then you can go and sort of do the sides sort of a lot easier. So that's what we'll do. All right, this is the bag of bolts that comes with it. These ones here are for the rear. And so you get these spaces because you need to adjust the height of the diffuser on the car. It's meant to be angled so the fins are parallel to the ground. I also have clearance issues with the exhaust, so that's actually what I'm using them more for. All right, so this bit here is a little tricky. You got to use a spanner to hold the nut. You put the nut up there. You then, well, actually that's you do that bit last. All right, first we stick bolt up here. We place our spacers. We then stick the nut up there, and we then poke this up through and try and get it in the right location for it to catch. All right, so we've got that first one in, just loose. It's not maybe as straight as I would like it. I may have got the bolts down the back around, well, not the bolts, but the diffuser might go actually behind the bracket, not in front of it. That's easily fixed though. So now on to the second one. All right, it's caught. All right, and that is on. You can see there that one's on as well. So I've now just got the sides to do so. So you can see what we need to do here. There's 3 of those where it's same thing. Put the bolt through, spacers, fix at the top. I think we don't even need to lay down for this one. We can just think I can just get at all of these sort of from the side. So spacer, spacer, up through the hole. Put the nut on, just loose. There we go, it's one. Now it is a bit of a compromise. You know, depending on the exhaust setup you've got will determine sort of how flat you can actually get it, and sort of, you know, true to what it's meant to be, or how it's meant to be set up. Let's get these on. It's 1. It's 2. And the third one is just at the front here. It's actually easier to do from the front. And there's actually plenty of room to get your hands in the side here to where the brackets need to be fixed. Alright, so I'm going to tighten these up a little bit more, not all the way, but to sort of take up the slack. It's still a little bit loose. All right, bit of a status check on how it looks so far. Because it's black, it's actually not as visible as you might imagine, like the diffuser being black as well. I mean, if you really wanted to stand out, you'd put some sort of red tape, or, you know, red accents on it. But I mean, you can see there, like, you can barely see it. It's just all black. And yes, it does annoy me slightly that one's gloss and one's a matte finish. But hey, you know, can't have everything. All right, other side. take away the slack. Now, you will also see there's really not a lot of clearance to my exhaust. And that, look, that's pretty much it. All I've got to do now is just go and tighten them up. But that's basically how easy it is to put on a Verus diffuser. You see, look, very little clearance to the exhaust. I might raise that up a touch, and I did just notice it's not quite centered as well. That can be fixed. You are meant to tuck it up as high as you can. That's what the instructions say. If I didn't have such large tips on there, I'd be able to tuck it up higher. So I think that's it. That's the Verus diffuser fitted. Really easy. It's a really well-made bit of kit, and it's functional, right? I mean, I keep saying it looks cool, but it's actually not just for looks. It's actually functional in terms of reducing lift in the back end and generating some downforce for the back end. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit that bell, all that good stuff. Until next time, have fun in your cars and keep it on the black stuff. Cheers.